Today I'm going to share some very important tips about EMFs, what you need to know about them, and some tips on how to avoid them and actually how to clear them out of your body after you've been exposed to them. So EMFs are a serious concern, and the way we know that is there are actually 3 independent teams of scientists that research this, and despite industry pressure, these 3 teams came to the same conclusion. There's a team for the World Health Organization, a team for the government of Sweden and Russia, and they all found the same thing. Anything over 3 milligauss is considered unsafe. And what they found, other researchers have found, is that EMFs, the radiation from phones and electricity and these sorts of things, causes a lot of problems. One of the first things it does is it actually causes problems with gene expressions. So that means your pants might not fit right. Okay, I'm just kidding, not that kind of gene, but genetics. And our genetics are what makes our whole body go. So the other thing it does is it affects our stress response. A lot of times you'll see people on a phone and they're talking and they're like all wound up and hyped. Part of that's the EMFs. It's creating stress. So that is not a good thing. We're all too stressed. The last thing we need is more stress. They also affect our immune system. So people who are exposed to EMFs get sick more often. They're more likely to get disease and things like that because of the immune system. And it affects our brain function. So imagine that, being stressed and your brain not working very well and getting sick. Could all be from EMFs. But I'm going to show you in this video how to reduce your exposure and some tips you won't hear anywhere else. So the other thing that it does is it affects melatonin production. And melatonin is an important hormone, and a lack of melatonin can cause prostate cancer or breast cancer. And it also disrupts your sleep if you don't create enough melatonin. And so it's important, especially to avoid EMFs in the evening. And I'm going to show you some tips on how to do that as well. So what are the common things that people use? Are phones, electricity, and Wi-Fi are really probably the most common things that we use where we're exposed to EMFs. And so a lot of people have asked me, they say, hey Brett, what about these devices like you put on your phone? Do those things work? Well, you know, some of them probably do, maybe. But I don't think so. I don't think so. And I don't think many of those devices work at all, because like this little device, does it like know that the tower's over there and I'm over here, and so block the EMFs going this way but not that way? If it was really blocking the EMFs, my phone wouldn't go to the tower, or the Wi-Fi wouldn't get to my computer. So how's it magically blocking it for me? It just doesn't make any sense. You know, I was at a holistic fair once, and they were selling these devices. Oh, they block EMFs and they're great, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to run home and get my meter and we'll test them. Oh, good. You'll see this. Oh, it works. So I go get my meter, and there's a little device that I knew put off a ton of EMFs. And I check it out. And then I put the device, their magical device, right between the meter and the EMF source. And you know what it did? Nothing. Well, except it made them a lot of money because they're selling something that doesn't work at a very high profit margin. So I'm going to show you some things here in a second that will show you how to do things that work without having spending money. So let me just check my notes here. The most important thing is this, is to understand, it's called the inverse square law. Say that 3 times quickly, or you can look it up on Wikipedia. But what it is, the inverse square law it's like having a set of headphones. If you have a set of headphones right in your ear, it's loud. Move it an inch away, not very loud. A foot away, you can't even tell what song's on. So it drops off quickly with the distance. So EMFs, you can say, okay, they're not ideal, but if I stay away from them, I'm going to do a whole lot better. So I just did a calculation earlier, and I put the phone up to my head and I measured it, and it was a centimeter away. And then I pull it away, and then I measured it, and I calculated it all out based on the inverse square law. And a foot away, just using speakerphone, which is what I recommend on your cell phone, always use speakerphone. And by the way, a tip on a cell phone with a good speakerphone is get one. I have an old clunky phone because the ones that are waterproof now, they put a saran wrap over the microphones. And so then the microphones aren't any good. So the phone that I found that has the best microphone, and I've tested them all, split test them back and forth, bought them all, and then returned the ones. Anyway, I test everything. And the one that I found that works the best is the newest phone, that doesn't have the waterproofing, so the speakerphone actually works well, is the Samsung Galaxy S4. I don't know about the Apple iPhones, but I'm sure some of the older ones actually don't have that waterproofing on the mic that really messes up with the sound quality. So that's what I use the Galaxy S for. So speakerphone, 12 inches away is 1/64th of the radiation. So it's like nothing. So like I can use my phone and not get my brain radiated. And then I'll show you how I can clean off the radiation off my hands in just a minute. So anything that has any sort of radiation, you think, okay, or EMFs, how do I distance myself from it? And so with your computer, if you're using a laptop computer, like what I do, I have a keyboard and I just slide it away. Corded keyboard, not a Bluetooth keyboard. I don't want any radiation with the Bluetooth. It's a corded keyboard. And again, once I've doubled the distance, it's a quarter of the strength. So it drops off. It's a 10th or 20th or something like that. I mean, you can do the calculations once you understand the inverse square law, but you don't have to understand that. You just need to know that distance is your friend when it comes to EMFs. So if you're cooking on a hot electric stove or something like that, well, just stand back just a little bit. So distance is the key. Now with your cell phone, you've got to carry it with you. So unless you want to walk around like this, what are you going to do? Most people carry it on their hip or on their purse. They want to leave it on because they want to catch a call. So what I found is I was searching all over and I found this, and I hope you can see it well, maybe with the white background. This is an ankle cell phone holder. It's made by DeSantis. It's like 20 or 30 bucks. It Velcros around. And then there's a little slot here that fits a smartphone. I wish you could see it better, but the phone just slides right in here, and then it actually goes underneath your pants or dockers or whatever. And then your phone is at your ankle. It's not near your organs. So you're getting, again, a 10th of the radiation or whatever to your main torso and organs and genitals. You're not getting nuked by your phone that's supposed to serve you because it's way far away. So that's a very helpful tip. The DeSantis cell phone holder, which I think they sell them on Amazon. And the next thing is with space heaters. A lot of them put off EMFs. I did some research and tested them to find a low EMF one. But again, inverse square law. Just don't sit right close to it. Stay a few feet away and you're fine. It should be almost zero. Now, what do you do about Wi-Fi? Well, ideally you wire your house. That's ideal. But short of that, thing is you want to keep your Wi-Fi device away from your main areas where you're at most of the time. So put it in a part of the house where you don't spend much time. Then it's spreading everywhere in the house, but you're not getting the intensity. And then at night, what I recommend is you get a lamp timer. You know those little timers that you set? Okay, turn it off at 9 o'clock at night, whenever you go to bed. And then you'll sleep better, remember, because EMFs block melatonin production. Melatonin is what helps you sleep better, so you'll sleep better when you have it turned off at night. So 9 o'clock at night, you have it click off. 5 in the morning, whenever you get up, you have it turn on a little bit before you get up, or if you want to, but are you really going to remember to unplug it and plug it in every night? Or have the last person in the house unplug it or whatever, put a note, whatever you have to do. But the main thing is there's no sense in having the Wi-Fi on while you're sleeping. It's going to radiate you. So the other thing I was telling you about is your hands. You're using your cell phone. What do I do after I use my cell phone? I wash my hands. Why? Because in decontamination procedure for radiation, what do they do to decontaminate? They wash radiation off. Radiation washes off. If you're out in the sun on a sunny day and you go take a shower and suds up afterwards, you're not going to get as much vitamin D because you've washed a lot of the radiation off. Now that's probably healthy radiation, but the stuff from your phone and these other things is not healthy. So if you work at a school or an environment where you Wi-Fi and radiation computers, take a shower when you get home. You'll wash a lot of that off. So that's a very helpful tip. Now the other thing is radiation is cumulative. So it's just like the food you ate 10 years ago, the stuff you did 10 years ago is affecting you today because it builds up in your system. So there's a detox protocol, and those of you in my group, I'm sharing this on another platform as well. You know about this detox. You probably didn't know it does this, but there's a detox protocol that actually was originally designed to detoxify radiation decades ago. And it's sauna detox with niacin. And I'll send a link in there. It detoxifies everything else. It's amazing. Check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. But that protocol will actually detoxify radiation. So in summary, you can wash radiation off. Distance is your friend. Keep your phone in high voltage electrical things like your stove, space heaters, that sort of thing at a distance. Shut off your Wi-Fi at night and always use your speakerphone. So if you're part of my Facebook group and you want to share this video, hop on over to my personal page and you'll see the video there. You can share it there. If you're on my personal page watching this, you can join my Facebook group, which is Sauna Detox with Niacin. So that's it, guys. And check out my other videos. I think you'll like them as well.